Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. This is our final video in preparation for Unit 2, covering another Unit 2 assignment, which this time is dealing with the Maful form. In looking at these various forms that we've been looking at, you've looked at the fa'il form, you've looked at the fa'il form, and today we're looking at the maf'ul form. It is important that although these have semantic significance, meaning that they have meanings attached to them, our main focus in looking at these lessons is to be able to get to the three-letter root verb from which the larger word or form is derived. So even looking at this form, what we want you to pay attention to is the fa, the a, the ain, and the lam. Okay, that's what we want to look at so that we can be able to pull away the extras. So in your book, on page 43, you will see some of these words here in a box. Okay, so if we look at these words, it says find the similarities. If you look at each of these words, what you should notice is that there's a meme at the front of every single one of them. And there's a wow as the second to last letter for every single one of them. Okay, so that indicates that the meme and the wow are the extra letters here. Remember that the vast majority of Arabic words come from trilateral roots, three-letter root verbs. So whenever you have more than three letters, it's important to figure out what the extras are. So we've seen that the extras can be ya in the fa'il form, and we've seen that the extras can be aleph in the fa'il form. And now we're introduced to two more extra letters, which are meme and wow. These can be added to a word and they change the form of the word, which means if we take the meme and the wow off, we can get to the root. Okay? So I want you to kind of imagine, see if you can mentally take those extra letters off, those auxiliary letters off, and see if you can get to the roots. Okay, so the roots here have now been written in blue. The auxiliary letters have been written in blue. So here, na, sa, ra is our root. The meme and the wow is extra. Wa, a, da is our root. Meme and wow is extra. Va, la, ma is our root. Meme and wow are extra. Ra, fa, a are our roots. Meme and wow are extra. Qa, ta, la is our root. Meme and wow are extra. Sa, ta, ra are our roots, and meme and wow are extra. Okay, now just to familiarize you with the meaning, although that is, again, that's not our main focus here. Our main focus is being able to get to the root, because guess what? If you can get to the root, you can find the vast majority of these words in the dictionary, okay? But sometimes you might not be able to, and that's when the form itself comes in handy. So let's look at some examples so we can see what the form means. So we're going to start off with mansur. So if we want to find the word mansur or find out what it means, we have to start with the three-letter root, which is nasara. Nasara means to help, to aid, to assist, to render victorious, to let triumph. If you know some of the shorter surahs of the Quran, you might know Surah An-Nasr. That's the actual name of the surah. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. So that word Nasrullah comes from Nasra. Okay, when the help of Allah or the aid of Allah comes. So Nasra means to help. Okay, now if we looked up the actual word mansur in the dictionary, we could find it. And we'll find that mansur, okay, so if you can remember our previous lesson where we looked at how that's going to be written, Meme with a fatha. So meme with a fatha is going to be M-A. And then noon is going to be N. There's a sukoon, so no vowel. Sod is S. Dhamma is U. The macron is going to be on top for the elongation. And then the R. Okay, so M-A-N-S-U. Macron on top, R. That's what we're looking for. We know that we found our word. It looks the same in Arabic. And the diacritics match in terms of the English. So it says supported, aided, victorious, triumphant. So here what we see is that when the action of the verb happens to something in such a way that it is described by that action, then that is what the maf'ul form does. So the action of helping happens to something, and so it is helped. The action of aiding happens to something, so it is aided. The action of supporting happens to something, so it is supported. The action of making victorious happens to something, so if something is made victorious, then it is victorious. If something is made triumphant, then it is triumphant. Okay? So the action of the verb happens to it happens to someone or something, and then it becomes described with that action. That's what the maf'ul form means when you see words in that form. Again, if you don't get that, it will be discussed in other series of our course, but just trying to give you some type of understanding of it. And remember, again, this was found in the dictionary, so you can look the word up if you find the root. Our next word is maw'ud. So our root is wa'ada. The extra is the meme and the wow. Okay, so if we were to see this, wa'ada is our root. Okay, wa'ada means to make a promise, to give one's word, to promise, even to threaten. So if the action of promising someone or something, if the action of promising happens, then we would describe whatever is promised as promised. And so maw'ud means promised. Okay, so maw'ud, M for the meme, fatha, A, wow with the sukoon is represented by the U here. The ayn, if you remember, is the apostrophe pointing to the right. It has a dhamma on it, so there's the U there, the macron, elongation, and then the D. Okay? Now, here, because it's rounded, it's been made a little bit different, because remember, I know on your list, the wow will be a W. But when it's rounded, where it makes the ow sound, then they've made it a U. That makes absolutely positively no sense to me, but that's what they've done. It doesn't have to make sense because they've already arranged their dictionary. So you'll see here, they put the W back for the wow. So just know that the W can sometimes be a U if that ow sound is made. So you'll see here the meaning is promised, fixed, appointed, stipulated. Okay. So here we have mazlum. Again, the meme and the wow are extra from the root zalama. Okay, so zalama, remember the dha is represented by the Z. To do wrong or evil, to wrong, to treat unjustly, to ill-treat, to oppress. So if the action of doing wrong, if the action of doing evil, if the action of treating unjustly, if the action of oppressing happens to something, then it is oppressed, it is harmed, it is treated unjustly. So wronged, ill-treated, unjustly treated, and so on. Okay, so mazlum, meme with the fatha becomes M-A. The dha is a Z. There's a sukoon on it, so there's no vowel on it. Then the lam is L, comes right after that. Dhamma is a U. The elongation with the wow, macron. And then the meme is an M. So we see it represented there. Our next word is marfu'. Okay, so our root, take off the meme, take off the waw. Our root is rafa'a. So rafa'a means to lift up, to raise aloft, to heave up, to hoist, to raise something, like to raise one's head, to lift one's head up. It can also be to lift an object. Okay, when we see it in the dictionary, M-A for the meme and the fatha, R for the ra with the sukoon, F for the fa, U with the dhamma. Then we see the macron, and then we see the apostrophe facing to the right, representing the ayn. Okay, now it says here traceable in ascending order of traditions to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is a very technical term when it comes to hadith science, the science of prophetic traditions. If a hadith is traceable back to the prophet, then it's referred to as marfu'. Now, here's an instance where understanding the form is going to help you a little bit. All right, is that the only meaning for marfu'? No, not just the super technical term. If you look here, rafa'a means to lift, to raise. So if the action of lifting or raising happens to something or someone, then it is lifted or raised. So marfu' means lifted, and it can also mean raised. If you go to chapter number 52 of the Quran, At-Tur, then you'll see that one of the first ayat reads, was-saqfil marfu', and by Allah swears by the raised roof, the sky. But you'll see the word marfu' there, actually there, was-saqfil marfu'. So you'll see that word and you'll see it has nothing to do with prophetic traditions. So the idea is, because that's the only definition they gave me, then I went back to the root to figure out another meaning, possible meaning of the word. Okay, so that's where the form comes in handy, but the majority you should be able to find in the dictionary itself. The next one we have is maqtul. Okay, so take off the meme, take off the waw, you're left with qatala. Qatala means to kill, to slay, to murder, to assassinate. Okay. Now, if you look in the dictionary, you're not going to find maqtul under qatala. You're not going to find maqtul at all. So because we know what the form means, again, we're able to deduce. So if qatala means to kill, if the action of killing happens to something, then it is killed. So maqtul means killed. And the last one that we have is mastur. Mastur. So we take off the meme, we take off the waw, we're left with satara. Satara, and it says and to, don't worry about that, means to rule, to draw lines on a sheet of paper, to write, to jot down, to record, to draw, to compose. So if satara means to write, to jot down, to record, like make a record, to draw up, to compose, to write, then if the action of writing and jotting down happens to something, then it is written. So mastur means written. Again, mastur is not found in the dictionary. This word, you won't find it in the dictionary. But also, I believe in Surah Tur, chapter number 52 of the Quran, you should see this same word. I think it's the scrolls. وَالطُّورِ وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ. Now, the very second ayat, وَالطُّورِ, I swear by the mountain, وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ, and by the written book. وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ. Mastur is written. Again, how do we know that? Because we know the form and we know what the root means. Okay, so the idea, again, more than anything else, what we want you to get from this is that you can find the roots of the word by taking off the extras. If there's more than 3 letters, that means there have to be additions here. So far the additions that we've seen for the different forms that we've taken, it can be a meme in the front, or it can be a waw, a ya, or an aleph in the middle. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful in preparation for Unit 2. What you can do for your final homework assignment for Friday is you can read pages 43 through 46 of your course book. And based upon what you read, it'll be a revision of what we've talked about in this video. You can do exercise 3, which can be found on page 44, and you can do exercise 4, which can be found on page 46. So exercise 3, notice the following words in the Maful form. Next, write an X for the auxiliary letters. Thereafter, label the fa'ul fill with the number 1, the ainul fill with the number 2, and the fa'ul fill with the number 3. Okay, so the extra letters, as we've mentioned, are the meme or the ma and the wow or the wa. Okay, and then you can put the numbers next to the fa'ul fill, the ainul fill, and the lamul fill, respectively. And then on page 46, it says, find the words trilateral root in the dictionary and write the page number on the first line. So that should be pretty simple if you take off the meme and the wow. And then you're going to write the meaning of the trilateral root on the second line. And then you're going to find the new meaning based on that maf'ul form in the dictionary, or deducing it based upon what we've talked about. Now remember, because this is a video, you can watch it as many times as you need to until you get comfortable. That's the benefit of having a video. So I encourage you, if you found it a little bit challenging, if the information's not that clear for you yet, then watch it again. And then when you come to class, you'll have questions for your teacher, and you can be able to ask about those things that are unclear. Hopefully you found the video beneficial. Thank you very much for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.